Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help you enjoy games in depth. In my previous video, we have progressed from T1 to T15 in Path of Exile 2, but this is not the end, but a new beginning. So what's next? That's the topic of this video. First of all, you need to know that although you can run T15s, there's still huge room for improvement of your build. Here I'll go through the common angles of improvement. Always remember that a build in PoE 2 consists of skills, passives, and gears. For skills, your ultimate pursuit should be a level 21 5-socket and 20 quality gem. Normally, you can only get level 20 gems. You need to use a Vow Orb to corrupt a gem that's already 5-socket and 20 quality to grant it +1 level at a chance. In the current patch, there's I don't know if it's a mechanic or a glitch, but everyone's using it. You can corrupt a level 18 gem, equip it in your skill panel, and use a level 20 Anka gem to upgrade it to level 21. In this way, you don't need to risk losing the level 20 gem, which is very expensive. Besides the basic level of a gem, you can also make use of lineage support gems and runic gems newly introduced in patch 0.5. They enable new synergy between skills, having the potential to change your build fundamentally. Compared to the regular skills, which can be previewed in the gem cutting menu, you need to know what gems there are at the first place. To make the information more accessible, you can use a website called PoE2 Wiki. Then for passives, your ultimate pursuit should be 119 passive points in total. This counts in the passive points you get by hitting level 95, the 24 weapon stat points you get during the camping, and the point granted by the sacrificial chamber in the precursor fortress. So why do we stop at level 95, not 100? This is because in most cases, the monster level is capped at around 82 in this game. This means you will suffer from severe experience gain penalty in higher levels, making it extremely hard to level up after level 95. And why don't I count in the passive point granted in Expedition? Well, it's too rare, and you may prefer to get the other rewards too. All in all, the improvement for skills and passives is still rather easy to understand, and what's not easy is gears. Let's first divide gears into 4 categories. Rare gears, including rare jewels, unique gears, unique jewels, and augments, aka socket bows. Rare gears are usually used to provide basic stats. For example, if you upgrade your weapon from T3 affix to T1 affix, you will see improvement of your damage. Or if you upgrade your jewels with only 3 cracked affix to having 4 or even 5 cracked affix, that'll also boost your stats. However, this can be extremely expensive compared to the rewards you can expect. So, the pursuit for ultimate rare gears is very high-end, often higher-end than uniques. For example, a Mage Blood Belt, which is a powerful and extremely infrequent unique item, is worth 600 divs, but the expected cost for crafting a powerful weapon can exceed 1000 divs. But you should know that it's possible that rare gears can bring mechanic changes to your build besides the raw stat improvement. This often comes in 3 forms. 1. You can get spirit from rare gears, so that you can turn on more spirit skills. Usually, sources of spirit are body armor, amulet, and an alloy affix on boots. And 2. You can stack attributes on rare gears, so that you can use Giant's Blood or have access to skills or gears you won't otherwise. For example, Spirit Walker by default is a dex character. By stacking Int, she will have access to Scepters, which is an important source of minion damage boost. And 3. You can instill your amulet using liquid emotions dropped from Delirium. This will directly grant you a notable passive in the tree. Compared to pure stat improvement, Such mechanic enhancement is usually more rewarding and should be considered first. Then, unique gears are usually utilized for special mechanic synergy. I cannot really tell you exactly what unique you need. You need to make your own decisions based on your build. And a useful tool for making decisions is PoE2DB website, where you can check the effects of all the uniques. Unique rules are very interesting. They can manipulate your massive tree in different ways. For example, from nothing rule allows to allocate nodes in a radius of a certain keystone passive without having them connected to your tree. This means you can grab passive nodes that are very far away from your tree. For another example, Undying Hate rule will directly change the effects of nodes in its radius. The information of such unique rules can also be found in PoE2 Wiki and PoE2DB websites. At last, augments can be important too. Although the runes you are familiar with during campaign might feel really basic, only providing base stat or resistance, there are augments that provide special effects. For example, I'm using an ancient rune that makes monster have no crit bonus after being blinded. Again, the information for augments can be found on the two websites. By the way, if you find you don't have enough augment sockets in your gears, you can always use a Vial Orb to crop them. You have 1 in 4 chance to add an additional socket to the gear. And of course, this may also ruin the gear, so most players won't do this on rare gears. But if you are using any cheap unique gears, it's always acceptable to buy a lot of the same unique and try to crop them. That said, now you know what to pursue after T15 to make your character even stronger. However, things come with prices in PoE2. In the following, I will describe prices based on what I observed in patch 0.5.4. Simply put, all the different improvements you can think of have their prices. Ideally, you should start with cheaper improvements all the way up to expensive ones. As for exactly what price each improvement is at, you need to check for yourself. For example, some lineage supports are so cheap that you can buy a lot with only 1 exalt, but some other lineage supports can cost you 500 divs. Some unique gears are so cheap that you won't even care about how much you've spent when corrupting them, but some are so expensive, requiring hundreds of divs. Here you might notice a problem. Let's say you are doing good damage, but your defense is a bit bad. But the few cheapest improvements on your list are all offensive ones. So should you grab them according to the plan, or should you skip them for now and go grab a defensive improvement that may be more expensive? My suggestion is to do exactly according to your plan and adjust your passive tree, moving some points from offense to defense. In this way, you can effectively improve your defense by taking an offensive improvement. Now that we've covered the prices, it's time to talk how to make currencies. Here we need to introduce a very important concept. Strategy builds are also builds, as important as character builds. So what is a strategy? It's a way to say what mechanic you are running and with what drop as your target and how you run it, etc. For example, let's say I'm farming Ritual targeting rare omens. I should first find a city biome so that I can use 4 tablets. I will start a Rite of the Nameless, and during the early phase of the rite, I will use tablets to give me more rerolling and increased omen chance so that I can find and defer more omens. And during the late phase of the rite, I will switch to tablets that give me more tribute to simply die of the omens I've deferred. I won't show you a specific strategy, but a methodology to design your strategy build. First, 3 components of a strategy build: Atlas passives, tablets, and waystones. Atlas passives include the core passives, the mechanic passives, and the Atlas master. Do remember to cover all of the 3 aspects. Tablets each have 4 effects, rolling them from a generic pool and a mechanic-specific pool. And finally, by Waystone, we talk about the 5 bonuses on the top: Waystone drop chance, monster rarity, item rarity, pack size, and effectiveness. Now let's see an example. The full workflow of an base mechanic is to defeat monsters near the pit first, then new monsters will spawn from the pit, and finally, after killing all the new monsters, a chest will spawn from the pit. Obviously, there are many things to target during this process. Let's say we want to focus on raw currency drops from the chests. In this case, we should use Woman faction, which has currency chest, and additional page to get more chests. For tablets, we want twice likely to spawn rewards, and for waystones, since we are farming chests, not monsters, we want item rarity only. Similarly, we can also use other factions to farm level 82 exceptional gears, or we can farm the rare monsters themselves. Now you know how to design a strategy build given you have a farming target, but how to decide what to farm at the first place. First of all, I want to clarify that, for most cases, you don't want to farm raw divine drops, but something you can sell for divines. In this way, even when things become more expensive, you can still handle it, as you earn more by selling too. Now the most basic economy knowledge tells us a thing is more expensive if more people want it, and less people can provide them. The things that more people want are usually related to values for build making, such as Mage Blood and Headhunter, or crafting, such as Omens. The things that less people can offer might be rare at the first place, drop from a very difficult content, so few builds can handle, or be because most people are playing something else. Actually, the last possibility is a very good chance to pursue. To exploit it, you can use PoE2 Ninja website, where there's an economy page. Here you can check the prices of different stuff, and based on that, decide where to farm. For example, maybe a top streamer posted a video about catalyst farming, so many people started this strategy. This would make catalyst cheaper, so it would be smart to farm something else instead. After some time, when people turn to other farming targets, you can return to catalyst again. And here's some additional notes. When thinking of what to farm, you should be flexible and open-minded. Actually, many things can be farmed in this game. For example, for Delirium, a full run should be running regular maps to generate Grand Mirrors, running Grand Mirrors to spread the fog, running the fogs to accumulate deliriousness, and finally running the Simulacrum and doing the boss. However, you can also farm Simulacrum splinters only, selling them to players who want to farm the Simulacrum directly. Similarly, you can farm tablets and sell them. Now I hope the discussion just now can show you why strategy builds are as important as character builds. And similar to how character builds have prices, strategy builds also have prices. Let's come back to the three components of strategy build. Two of them, tablets and waystones, have prices. If you move from farming tablets yourself to buying them, prices go up. If the number of effective effects on tablets goes up, the prices go up too. And if you move from simply rolling a 6-mod waystone to chaos it with omens, the prices go up. Additionally, you can buy tickets to farm things, skipping the process of farming the tickets themselves. The Simulacrum splinter farming we talked about is just a very good example of this. As prices go up, ideally, you can profit more. However, you should notice that, different from the components of a character build, tablets and waystones are, in essence, consumables, so the price and net profit calculation might be a bit different. Currently, I'm not sure how to clarify this yet. Lastly, let's discuss how you can improve your character and strategy together. As your strategy improves, you will make more currency to spend on your character build, and as your character becomes stronger, you will be able to run harder strategies or doing the same strategy more efficiently. My experience is 10 divs can be made without any specific strategy. You may even find more than that during T1 to T15 progression. 100 divs can be made with a cheap and easy strategy. If you want 500 divs, you need a strategy that is either expensive or difficult. And finally, for 1000 days, you need a strategy that is both expensive and difficult. I hope this video can show you the path to improving your character to the extreme. If you want to play games into depth together with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.